Welcome back. You're watching Strassenfest live on 18 WJTS and listening on the radio 100.9 FM WBDC. I'm Ty Hunter, your host of Strassenfest Live. This morning, I am joined with royalty here in the WJTS studios. Please welcome your 2016 Miss Strassenfest, Vanessa Hickman. Vanessa, good morning.
Good morning.
First of all, congratulations to you.
Thank you so much.
Let's go back in time a little bit. Let's go back to the actual pageant. First of all, what made you enter Miss Strassenfest?
What made me enter Miss Strassenfest is, you know, I've looked up to these queens my whole life, and I've seen what they represented, and I've really wanted to do what they did. I did Junior Miss when I was younger, and I had so much fun, and I really just wanted to be Miss. And part of it was the $1,000 scholarship that you receive.
That's a nice bonus.
Yes, absolutely. It's very
Where are you
nice.
going to be going to school?
The University of Indianapolis. I'll be a sophomore up there.
Okay. Now, let's talk about the actual event. What did you have to do? What was the requirements?
So a couple of the requirements are there's 2 rehearsals you have to attend and then a dress rehearsal before. You have a 5-minute interview with judges. You go to Just Whimsies and you pick out a modeling outfit. You have your evening gown and then you wear your interview suit as well.
Were you nervous?
Absolutely. I was very nervous. I remember walking off stage after my onstage question and it was just a huge sigh of relief. Yeah.
Now, describe the moment when they called your name, or was it one of those moments like, I'm sorry, what did you say?
It was between me and Haley Sample, our first runner-up, and we were the last 2 on stage. We were next to each other, and I could just remember the moment before she was called. I was just freaking out, and then whenever they called my name, it was just one of those things where you can't stop smiling. You know, your cheeks were hurting, but you couldn't tell because you were just so excited, and it was very exciting.
Now we're going to talk about some of your duties that you have during this year's Strassenfest. By the way, for those of you that may have missed the pageant itself, it will re-air right here on WJTS, and that is coming up on next Friday, the 12th at 8 p.m., and again that Sunday at 2 p.m. So you can watch the pageant and watch Vanessa and her court do their thing on the stage. Speaking of the court, we want to mention their names because they will be joining you for this year's Strassenfest.
Absolutely. Our first runner-up is Haley Sample. Our second runner-up is Landon Schneider. Our Miss Congeniality is Lena Mowat, and our Miss Photogenic is Brooke Epple.
Now we're going to be talking with some of the members of the pageant a little later on this hour, so stay tuned. But let's talk about the duties, because you do have some duties that you have to perform as the queen.
Right. So one of the main duties is I'm in charge of the court. So I schedule out everywhere they're going to go, all the awards we're going to give out, the different events we're going to attend. And then I also get to have a welcoming speech at the opening ceremonies. And then we essentially walk around the court. We represent Jasper. We say hello to visitors. We welcome everyone there. As I said before, we give out awards. And we essentially have a really good time.
It's a huge responsibility with that many people, obviously, in downtown Jasper for the Strassenfest. And of course, you girls are going to be very busy going to all these events. What is your favorite event? What are you looking forward to the most?
So what I look forward to the most at Strassenfest is kind of interesting is I honestly look forward to going to the downtown square and just being at the heart of Jasper. My favorite part is walking around and seeing your friends and seeing your family and saying hello, because that's what I'm most excited for, is just to see everyone and, you know, welcome them to the Strassenfest.
All right, we got to talk about food. As you can see, I love food. What's your favorite Strassenfest food? What are you looking forward to?
The tenderloin. That's my absolute favorite, yeah.
Tenderloin.
That's the best.
All right, now you've got the parade, obviously, on Sunday. Have you perfected that?
I've kind of practiced the Queen Wave just a little bit. I have a couple days.
You have a couple days to get it down pat.
Yeah.
And as you move on, of course, you're representing all of Jasper here. You have some other engagements, I know, throughout the year that the Miss Strassenfest makes an appearance of, and of course, be back next year to pass the crown.
Yes.
So this year's Strassenfest is very special to you, of course. As we look towards next year, if you have any advice for anyone out there that may be considering entering for Miss Strassenfest, what advice would you give them?
I would advise you just to have fun. I mean, you're going to be nervous because it's obviously something you want and something you work very hard for, but just remember to have fun and don't let the nerves get the best of you.
Again, the Strassenfest Queen, Junior Miss, Little Miss, and Mr. Pageant will air right here on WJTS next Friday at 8 p.m. and again that Sunday, the 14th at 2. Vanessa Hickman, this year's Miss Strassenfest. Now, before we go, you have some very special sponsors to thank that made it all possible.
Absolutely. So we would like to thank Dysinger Jewels, the American Senior Communities, Chocolate Bliss, Flower Stall Hearth and Home, Just Whimsy, Orange Leaf, Mary Kay Cosmetics, especially Kim Messmer. And then we also like to thank Redemption Christian Church. It was just a beautiful facility to have the pageant in. And then some volunteers that helped with that. Fred Routson, Mr. Elrod, and our 2 MCs, Mallory Humper and Jean Coons. And also we'd like to thank German American.
Vanessa Hickman, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And we will see you at this year's Strassenfest
Yes.
kicking off tonight. I guess we have a speech to look forward to.
You have a speech to look forward to.
You're watching Strassenfest live here on 18 WJTS and listening on the radio, 100.9 FM, WBDC. We're back right after this.